And it's always great to see that, because you know you're making some kind of an impact and you're spreading the word. You know you're doing something about it.
Fabulous. Max, maybe give us some practical guidance, the website, how we could really all do our part. Now, I expect that everybody watching this, you saw the video, they saw the, well, they're going to see it again. And, you know, you'd have to be unhuman not to be disturbed by it, and I hope that everybody will. So tell us how we could plug in and do something about this.
It's been said, in order for this genocide to stop, that it's going to come from grassroots organizations like groups like us, Genocide Watch, the Save Darfur Coalition. It's not going. Unfortunately, it's not going to come from the people who need to come from, like the government officials and the politicians. We have our own website set up for people viewing the video, that want a copy of the video, that want to contact us for about presentation information, and just people that want to join with us for this cause for humanity. Our website is www.dhsthepromise.com. Right on that website, they can access the videos, new presentation information, the email address of Mr. Salem if they want to contact him.
Okay. Tim
There's
Salem,
also
SALEM.
Yep, and my email's right on there. But there's also pictures from Dr. Jerry Ehrlich, who spent some time with Doctors Without Borders in Darfur and brought back the children's photos, which you referenced earlier. Mia Farrow has been kind enough to share her personal photo journal with us. That's also on the website. And there's a host of other resources that people can link onto. But you know, you alluded to something at the outset that's really a problem with this issue, and it's the fact that there's a real lack of coverage on Darfur. You know, if you think back, when's the last time we saw Darfur on any of on the front cover of a Time or a Newsweek or a U.S. News and World Report? When was the last time we saw Darfur lead the headlines of our nightly news? When's the last time we saw Darfur on the front page of a newspaper indicating how many people are killed? I mean, these are human beings, and we're all part of one human family.
Let me get this straight. If we put 10,000 UN troops, well, tell us about the resolution that's already been passed.
On August 31st, 2006, UN passed Resolution 1706, which mandated or stipulated a UN peacekeeping force of 22,500 soldiers. If that was enacted or acted upon by the UN, many people, many observers, many people who are keen to knowledge in this situation feel that essentially we'd be able to stop this genocide from advancing any further, and allow the humanitarian aid workers on the ground to do their work and be able to put more people on the ground to help.
This would stop the genocide?
I believe so, and I believe most people would feel that way as well.
When was this passed?
August 31st of this past year, 2006.
All right, so that was about half a year ago.
Right.
What are they waiting for?
They're waiting for the approval of the Khartoum government.
Yes.
The approval of the Khartoum government to stop what the
Yes.
Khartoum government is doing?
Yes,
Right.
that's what the UN is claimed to wait for.
That's ridiculous.
Exactly.
I agree.
So it's not. We shouldn't sit here and just take it. I mean,
and the
we
UN
got
refuses,
to put this in people's face.
Right.
and unfortunately, the UN refuses to label this a genocide. They call it a humanitarian crisis, humanitarian tragedy, because they know if they call it a genocide, then under the Chapter 7 mandate that they would have to put troops on the ground.
Well, they always said that they would.
Right. See, I don't agree.
I mean, they always said that they would. What you only have to say that you would if it's not a genocide, but to actually do it, then that you have to have the word genocide. We're dealing with human life here.
But you know, dealing with human life, we talked about this as well. The coverage after the Asian tsunami and the coverage after Hurricane Katrina was obvious, was evident, was much needed. Those were natural disasters. This is a man-made tragedy of unbelievable proportion. Almost 500,000 people are killed. 2.5 million. We can't even fathom those numbers. Are currently in danger of dying, of death, despair, attrition, and yet we can't get this issue on the front page of a magazine or to lead news coverage. It just is unconscionable to me that this could be going on without.
I figure a baseball stadium filled with 20,000, and then you figure how many baseball stadiums you would need to fill up to even come close to imagining the amount of people that have been killed.
Absolutely.
Now, if these were Frenchmen, it would be on the front page. Agreed? If they were white, if the majority of American people somehow identify it and say, "Oh, that's me," or "That's my cousin," or somebody that I'm closer to?
Part of it, I would say you're accurate. I think part of it is, well, there's a combination. The economic factor. Part of it is, I think, the race factor, and part of it is, you know, why I don't understand. But I guess we can't justify making it news coverage, and therefore it flies under the radar. So people don't really have an understanding of it.
You did say economic, right?
I think that's definitely
the
part
China
of it.
card that.
Well, that's certainly a piece of it. China and Russia having access to oil in Sudan is certainly a big blockage. We know that from their stand at the UN Security Council over the short history of this conflict. And you know, the other question is, what interests does the West in general have in Sudan, other than the fact that human beings are dying, and,
other than that,
innocent human beings.
Yeah, that should be the top fact. All right, we've made our conversation at this time. We still have yet to see the documentary, so I think we really better roll it at this point. Maybe we'll catch a few more minutes after it's done playing, so we'll go ahead and roll that at this time.
The study of history teaches us to learn from the mistakes of the past in order to prevent future occurrences. Yet mankind has not yet applied this theory to the concept of genocide.
About the genocide that's occurring in Darfur, I didn't know exactly how to feel. I thought when I think of genocide, I think of the Holocaust or things that happened a long time ago. I never thought that genocide could be occurring today.
The world promised never again in the aftermath of the Holocaust. The monstrous inhumanity was unfathomable. 60 years later, our children are still wondering when. When will the lesson be learned? When will never again become a reality?
Never again would we allow governments or militias to burn villages, kill men, or rape women.
Never again would race or religion be a reason to kill.
Through the eyes of a child, much can be learned. The value of life, the hope, the love, the peace, the resolution, the meaning of existence. The future of man rests with our children, as does the vicious cycle of genocide, spawned by intolerance and hate, perpetuated by apathy, generation after generation. Never again would we allow families to be torn apart,